family, grace to you. Once again, this is Greg coming to you from FaithsMessenger.com. The title of today's message is The Manipulation of the Saints. The Manipulation of the Saints. You know, there are not a lot of things in life that I despise, but one thing I do despise is being manipulated to do something or not to do something. My dad exposed me to jazz at an early age, and I really liked it. I fell in love with jazz. But as I grew, my love of music, all genres of music, grew. And I started listening to a variety of different types of music. But I noticed that in some of these genres, the lean was heavy towards sexual content, sexual lyrics. And it turned me off because in my way of thinking, I figured, why, of all the subject matter to sing about, why do you need that sexual content as a hook, as a lure to sell your albums, to sell your records? And again, it's a form of manipulation to me, so I kind of limited what I listened to, and now I listen almost exclusively to jazz. There is a famous hamburger chain that shows scantily clad women in bathing suits and falling on cars or rubbing themselves on cars in car wash situations while eating a burger. And I'm thinking, what does a woman in a bathing suit have to do with the quality of your food? They don't correlate. It has nothing to do. One has nothing to do with the other. It's a lure. It's a form of manipulation. And for that particular chain, I will refuse, and I'll always refuse to eat anything from that chain, because if you need that, there's something amiss. Because if you can't sell a good tasting burger just on its own merit, it leads me to believe that something's wrong there. My wife and I watch a particular reality TV show, and this show entails a race around the world. And when they interview the contestants, particularly toward the beginning of the series of shows, I've heard several teams of women say that they have no qualms about using their sexuality to gain an advantage in the race. And the stupid guys just fall for whatever these girls do and say, and they end up getting the advantage. And it really ticks me off, because if you're good enough, if you're smart enough, if you've got the right mindset, why do you need that added lure to give you the advantage? And when it comes to spiritual issues, you see, manipulation is designed to pull on your flesh, to pull on your senses in one way or another. Our enemy, when it comes to spiritual issues, is continually attempting to manipulate us through our senses, through our flesh. He tempts us with things that we see. He tempts us with bigger and better and faster. He tempts us with our desires. He tempts us with the things that we think we need, the things that we must have in our lives. And it's a distraction from God's word. In order to be productive, in order to be strong, in order to fulfill the will of God in our lives, in order to walk in the fruit of the Spirit, we've got to divorce ourselves from the tug of the flesh. But yet and still, this manipulating character, our enemy, that's all he has, to tug on our flesh, to manipulate us through what we see, through what we feel, through all of our senses. So I'd like to encourage you that if you're fallen prey to being a victim of his manipulation, to divorce yourself from your senses. We're not moved. We're not supposed to be moved by what we see. We're not supposed to be moved by what we hear. And when he dangles those little treats, those little tarts, those little things of opportunity, those things that tug on our flesh, we've got to be strong enough. We've got to be mature enough to recognize, number one, who's behind the manipulation, and number two, to walk in the Spirit, divorce ourselves from our sensual natures in order to fulfill the will of God in our lives. So I'd like to leave you with that today, and I'd like to encourage you that if you haven't joined us in our YouTube community yet, to do so by clicking on the red subscribe button on your screen. By doing so, you'll receive notifications when new videos such as this one are posted. I'd also like to invite you to join us in our blog community at FaithsMessenger.com. Now, Faiths Messenger is a compilation of over 550 individual blog posts which address a myriad of different topics. Now, these are real-life, relevant, everyday topics that each and every one of us can relate to. So once again, that address is FaithsMessenger.com. Now, with all that's been said today, I'd like to leave you with a question. Now, this question can be posed to anything you may be going through today in life. I'd like for you to ask yourself, is anything impossible with God? Have a great day, family. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.